Hi, readers. It's Lori. Here's the book haul for November, which I'm cutting off now because I'm done. I'm well done. I'm overdone. I'm not going to say anything about this haul. Obviously, I'm going to need to make some changes. The changes did not necessarily, though, begin in November. So let's talk about what I brought in or what I received in the month of November. Let's start with an unexpected delight. A friend of ours, an older woman that we have known for years, she's sort of like a surrogate mother to both of us now. Her name is either Vaughn or Ella, depending. I don't know why. She has two names. I've never asked. She's somewhat private, but also just a sweet, wonderful, open woman. She sent me a late birthday gift, and it includes this, Pages to Pencils, a reading journal for women who love books by Katie Sloop Roberts. She's done several of these for young adults as well as for book lovers. One of them is even a homeschool edition. So they're published by lunaandfortuna.com, books kids love and parents trust. And this is just a delightful little reading journal, which is going to be great because of the way that I'm planning to change my choices of how I'm going to document my reading this year. So perfect timing. And yeah, there we go. Then this, just remarkable. I hate to even hold this because it's so dainty and delicate. So this is Elder Flowers. This is a book of poems. It was published after the Civil War. It has some challenges in its condition. So I really do want to be careful. It was hand bound. I don't know how many copies were distributed, but it was written. So the poems were written by this author, whose name is Susan B. Elder, Elder Flowers, Susan B. Elder. It was published by the L. Graham Company Limited in New Orleans. What a delight. So her poetry is dedicated to the loving friends who have insisted upon publishing this little book, decking it out with so much grace and beauty, and who have thus partly compensated its readers for the simple lines enclosed within. There's one called Patriotic, one called The Cottage on the Hill, Cleopatra Dying, Home. Tremendous. My heart, just what a treasure, really, just a treasure. Then I pre-ordered this a while ago, not long after I finished Fourth Wing. I pre-ordered this. I did decide to move on. I can't tell you what I thought about Fourth Wing, but I can tell you that I bought Iron Flame. This is the black sprayed edge version, and there is another matching version of Fourth Wing in this same vein, but I'm not going to purchase another one. I don't think this one's out of print yet. That's what happened with the first one. Sequel to the first one, book 2 in the series, which I thought when I first started talking about these, that it was the only, there were only going to be 2, but there are indeed now placeholders for books 3 and 4 on Goodreads. I don't know when or anything about them. They are not titled and they have no publication date anticipated, but this follows up with book 1. And I don't want to tell you anything about it because if you haven't read book 1, you don't want to know what's going to happen. The next book I hauled was my book of the month club pick for this month, The Last Love Note by Emma Gray. Emma Gray has written a number of young adult novels, but this is her first adult debut novel, and she's a new author to me. This is a story about a woman whose name is Kate, I think. Yes, it is Kate. Kate was married to Cameron. Look, I love that it's yellow in there. Kate was married to Cameron, and Cameron dies, and Kate is working, and her boss go on a business trip, and they are the plane somehow lands them on an island off the coast of Australia where they are somewhat stranded for a bit. And Kate has this time then to contemplate her grief and her loss and what's next in her life. I hope that it is sort of a she finds herself rather than a she finds love with a new guy on an island. But it could be that, but I'll be happier if it's not that. And if the guy just kind of helps her boss just kind of helps her process what's happened. Cause I don't really love the ones that go straight from that to this, but I mean, it happens. If it's well done, it's well done. So we'll just see. This got pretty good reviews. I looked at the Book of the Month Club selections in terms of the plot and the premise of the books, as well as in the reviews, and this one did pretty well. So I'm happy. I love this cover. It's really just gorgeous, isn't it? Then what happened was I went on a rabbit hole. I was watching one day Krista from Books and Jams talk about a series I had started years ago by Jan Karen called the Mitford series, the beloved Mitford series, according to this edition. I had a copy of it home in Mitford, and again, I read it and I did like it a lot. And I actually gave that copy to my sister-in-law, who I'm sure unhauled it by now because she doesn't keep a lot of books. I also had these, I did not haul. I also had these in the series, which were book 2 and 3. And obviously these are not my favorite size, or are not my favorite, but I had gotten these when I got the first one. Okay, so I never read them. So that's not a haul, but what a haul is I replaced this one with a bookseller on Pango who helped me to do that. It's in great condition. I can put a link to who it was because it arrived as promised and was shipped very quickly. And then this was what Krista was saying in her video, was that she did not think she was going to go on with the series. She did not like it. And so I said, oh, well, I think I will. So I got book 4 and 5. So now I have 5 of the books in this series, and you're saying to yourself, and you're committing to yet another series and a reread of book 1? Possibly, yes. Hopefully, yes. And these have been on my backlist for years, so I would feel good about that, and then I would feel okay about having hauled those other 2. And then do I want to keep going on? I think there are 14 of them. I'm just going to say I think there are 14 of them. Next, I received a Goodreads giveaway book. Totally surprised to receive this. I have entered the Goodreads giveaway for multiple years, since even before I was on BookTube. What happened to my hair? And I've received one other free giveaway book, and this was my second. So the competition for getting these books is the number of people that enter to get these books is pretty high. So the likelihood of you getting one is pretty low, but I did. So ninth house, Leigh Bardugo was on my want to read list, which is kind of how they put you up for those giveaways. This is her first adult novel. She writes a lot of young adult. I've not read anything by Leigh Bardugo because I love dark academia. And this one is about a tale. It says it's a tale of power, privilege, dark magic, and murder among the Ivy League elite. So apparently they are connected to forbidden magic, and they maybe are trying to or succeeding in raising the dead, and they're doing all kinds of things. And this sounds yummy, scary. Yes, please. I'm very grateful to Goodreads for picking me as a giveaway winner. It's a complete surprise. Then I went to my library book sale looking for some things, and they had an art sale that day too, which we didn't get anything from, but I wanted to go to the book sale. They had a plastic Walmart Target size bag. Well, not the Target big bags, but a regular grocery size bag from Walmart. You could fill it for $3, and I did. And I got some other things too for some other people in my family, but I got The Last Precinct by Patricia Cornwell. I think this is around book 14, 13, 14, 15 in the series of Kay Scarpetta mysteries. I did start these years ago. I did not get caught up. I lost all my originals. I'm trying to reclaim those in used copies. I have several now, but I'm not also actively rereading them. So there's that. Also, there's the fact that I got this one, which is a nice, good size hardcover or good condition copy, but I came home to discover I already had this one. So I have a list of Case Scarpetta, Patricia Cornwell books in my phone, and I looked to see if I had checked off the ones that I have in the list on the phone, and I had not, but I thought, I don't know that I have this one. Let me just get it. The bag was $3 and I do have it. So I'll be gifting the smaller, because it was like sort of a book club sized edition, into a little free library near me very soon, because I already have this. So I shouldn't have even hauled that since I'm going to unhaul it, but I just wanted you to notice how silly I can be. I did grab this, though, Murder in an Irish Churchyard by Carleen O'Connor. Those of you who love a series in order will be horrified to know that this is about the fifth, I think, in this series. But I've never heard of Carleen O'Connor. I'd never heard of the Irish Village mystery series, but it was in pretty good shape and it looked really good to me. And it follows it says it's a place of unrest. So it's about a detective named Siobhan, and she's an O'Sullivan, and she is investigating the murder of a church member, or maybe not a church member. It doesn't say, a dead man in the church graveyard. And he's not buried. He's dead. He's found dead in the graveyard, on top of the ground. And so she has to figure out what happened. And again, this is not the first one. So the first in these series are called Murder in an Irish Village, Murder at an Irish Wedding, Murder at an Irish Churchyard, and Murder in an Irish Pub. So this is the third of four, I think, that at least were out when this was published, which was 2018. I haven't researched whether there are others, but nice palate cleanser. Again, why do I keep buying more series, you ask? I don't know. Then there was this, Watergate by Thomas Mallon. This is nonfiction about Watergate. Thomas Mallon writes for The New Yorker and the New York Times Book Review. He wrote this book, which is a retelling of Watergate. And Lisa picked this up. She thought it sounded good. I agreed, so we got it. We're going to take this cover off of it so it doesn't shine like this. Definitely kind of in alignment with our current fascination. We've been watching a lot of documentaries about JFK, because obviously it's about the anniversary. It probably is the anniversary by the time you watch this. And we've been also just really curious about other presidents recently. And I guess maybe my nonfiction foray has kind of sparked some of that discussion into different presidents and different things that happened. And so this sounds like a good time for us to pick that up. Then I went to Libro.fm and I got 2 books with my 2 credits. The first one is All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. This was one of my most anticipated reads earlier this year, and I have not forgotten about it. I still want to get to it. It is about a Black sheriff in a small community, and a teacher is murdered by a former student. He's been sheriff for about a year. There is some tension around a lot of things involving not only just this murder, but also the sheriff's, election and some other things, I think. So I think it examines just kind of a small community and race and inclusion and mental illness, and perhaps there's a serial killer involved, and it just sounds like it's really a good plot. I have another essay, Cosby, I haven't gotten to, so could I read both of them in the next couple of weeks? Sure, I sure could. Would I like to? Absolutely. Will I have time to? I don't know. The other one I got on Libro is The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve Dew. I talked about this one last month because it was the most anticipated read for me. It is set in the Jim Crow era. It would be a great addition to Historathon if I were able to finish it by the end of the month. It is a long one, I think, longer than some. And it follows these boys in this reform school and in that era. And it also talks about race and inclusion. And there's some ghosty vibes with it. So, or small sort of closed circle space. experiencing what is a big problem. And then the last book that I hauled, let me pull it up because I have another book by this author who is Sulari Gentile or Gentile. I'm not sure, to be quite honest. I didn't look that up. And the other one that I have is The Woman in the Library, I think. The mystery writer is about a woman named Theodosia Benton, who is an attorney, and she's finding herself sort of drawn to writing a novel. And so she connects some way with her brother. She connects some way with her brother, Gus. I don't know if she moves in with Gus or if she just starts talking to Gus about her desire to become a writer. And another novelist becomes a mentor to her and is trying to support her completion of this book that she really wants to do and do well. But meanwhile, her mentor, who is a successful author, by the way, is murdered. And Gus is a suspect in that murder. The other one I purchased, this was a NetGalley early release for me. This one comes out March 19th of 2024. Obviously, I would like to read that one and a number of other NetGalley books before it comes out, but I requested that on Kindle, which I do find that I read pretty quickly on Kindle. So we'll see. We'll see. And that is my haul, right? That is my whole haul for the month of November. Is that right? Yes, that is it. What did you haul in November? Have you read any of these books? Are you completely overwhelmed by the number of books that I'm hauling in the last few months? If you are, there is obviously no reason you shouldn't be. I am completely overwhelmed by that too, but it is what it is, and I have the power to do whatever I choose to do about it. So I will get back to you on that. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for all of your support, your comments, and as always, happy reading. Bye.